horror games have exploded in popularity, and wherever I look, I see great scary games being released. But on the other hand, there's also been a surge of cozy, relaxing, cute games. So I thought, what if we combined them? What if we made a game that looks all cozy and peaceful, but it's actually secretly... Also, this video is sponsored by Squarespace, but more on that later. Alright, so first, I was looking at different types of cozy games to get some inspiration. There's Stardew Valley, where you plant crops, raise animals, and become best friends with the entire town. Then there's Animal Crossing, where you move to a deserted island and transform it into a paradise filled with adorable animal neighbors. And then there's Cozy Grove, which is basically camping with friendly ghost bears who just want you to decorate their haunted island. But from this, I understand these games are all about relaxing vibes and bright colors. They're designed to be chill, low stakes, and absolutely adorable. I was browsing my YouTube home feed and came across a video by B-Cart where he made a secretly terrifying game in your grandma's house. Watching his video actually gave me the inspiration to continue with my idea, so shout out to him. So after bashing my head for a couple hours while thinking of the idea, I decided we can make a game that takes place at a school where you play as a student. It'll be a nice colorful school with a playground, but as you stick around, the bright colors fade and the cute vibes turn into a full-blown nightmare. The first thing that's needed is a school. Seems simple enough, but turns out building a school from scratch is time consuming, and we don't want to rely on my 3D modeling skills. Okay, but before you leave a comment saying asset flip, I'm not gonna just purchase a school model and call it a day. Instead, we can use a modular low poly asset pack. From this, we can start laying things out, essentially designing the outline of what the school would be. So with that outline in for the school, I told you guys I wanted a playground earlier, and so we can work on that next, placing things like swing, a monkey bar, seesaw, and more. After finishing up the playground, let's go back to working on the interior of the school, designing it to be cozy. So in the classrooms, we can place desks, variety of props, such as even bulletin boards. Yeah, we can't forget about those. And since this is a proper school, the classroom gets a massive projector and students get a laptop. So after making 2 classrooms in the school, next was the library, a principal's office, trees outside, and adding buildings in the distance. There will also be a secret room, but I'll talk more about this later because I haven't even told you guys about the game idea yet, but we'll get to that soon. For now, I think the goal of the starting area to seem relaxing and cozy is getting there. But remember, as you keep playing, the school should become scary. So to do that, we need to make a copy of the school, but in a version that's scary. We can take realistic horror materials and models and start replacing the objects in the school one by one, lining the objects up to match each part perfectly. And so basically in this approach, every single item in the starting school has a realistic counterpart. And if you're wondering, the objects are not going to all switch at once to the horror version. I'll explain more soon how it'll work. And so after tediously repeating this process for every object in the school, including the classrooms, the hallway, principal's office, library, playground, and the whole outside area, you can finally see the flip in action, but it still doesn't feel right. So that's where lighting and post-processing comes into play, which made a big difference to the environment. And similarly, the lighting, post-processing, and skybox was adjusted outside. Now we actually have a both cute and scary version of the game. At the moment though, we are switching between both instantly. We need to get the player emotionally attached to the cozy school first and make them believe it's the core focus of the game. Only then we can transition them to the scary version, which brings us back to what should actually be happening in the game. Since it's a school, we obviously need a teacher. I'm thinking the teacher could give tasks for the student to do as the gameplay. I found this low poly teacher model to use, but we have a problem. He has no face. But luckily we can just use cubes to solve that. And so it looks like this. Yo, he's looking kind of cute. And so anyways, at the start of the game, when you go to the teacher, he tells you to collect books and place them back in the library. And then once you complete that, you go back to him and next he tells you to collect the trash and throw it out. Yeah, is this even legal? This is some after school student labor. Okay, but remember, we'll be making the teacher realistic and have him actively try to kill you when the whole school transforms. The player will need a way to escape, but how is the question? Before we continue, if you're into game development but don't have a website to share your portfolio of games, you're missing out and I have the perfect solution for you. Today's sponsor, Squarespace. They make it easy to build their website with no coding needed. With their Blueprint AI tool, I made a portfolio site in just 15 minutes to show off my projects. Their templates are super flexible, so you can make your website look exactly how you want. And if you want to sell something like fan-made merch or plushies, Squarespace has easy payment options, credit card, PayPal, or Apple Pay. So if you're thinking about a dedicated website for your games or to make yourself a portfolio, go to squarespace.com/usmandev for a free trial and to save 10% off your first website or domain. There will be 3 puzzles excluding the teacher's tasks. The player will be outside and need to come back into the school to receive the last puzzle. Completing the final puzzle will light up the exit. Let's dive into those puzzles now, starting with the first one. Gaining access to the secret room that I had talked about earlier. So for this one, you have to pick up 5 chalk pieces scattered on the floor around the school. Easy enough, right? So once you've grabbed all 5, the bookshelf in the classroom slides open, revealing a secret room behind it. I know a hidden door behind a bookshelf isn't the most groundbreaking idea, but you know it works. The secret room doesn't disappoint, or maybe it actually does, depending on how much you value just getting a single digit for the principal's office keypad. Oh, you're wondering what I'm talking about regarding the principal's office keypad? Well, there's a keypad that has the principal's door locked. You have to find 4 digits to unlock what's behind it. Each digit of the key code is written in a piece of paper scattered across the school. One is in the classroom, one in the hallway, one in the library, and of course the last one is chilling in the secret room you unlock. And to avoid making you guess the order number is labeled when you interact. And so after entering the correct code, you enter the principal's office. And that's when things take a wild turn. You walk in and it's a simple office. Not anything interesting. Yeah, I didn't really think this far. Okay, let's try again. You walk in and you see floating skull particles and a creepy picture of someone. Yeah, maybe that was a bit too overboard, but it makes you feel like you messed something up by opening the door. But what you find is a note telling you to go on the slide outside. See, the principal is just leaving innocent notes. Nothing weird happening here at all. You interact with the slide, and as soon as that happens, the map switches. But an instant switch between the 2 versions looked pretty bad, and having a cool transition effect is definitely needed for that game feel. And so we can add a bunch of effects, and now the transition is actually impactful. There's actually one more thing you have to do to escape and win the game, but there's something more important first. Remember how I mentioned there would be a scary version of the teacher trying to chase you down? Yeah, let's do that now. And so to do this, we need a model for the scary teacher. The low poly model was taken to Blender, and first his arms and legs were removed and his body was adjusted. Next, his face was sculpted to actually have some depth. Used circles for his eyes and sculpted in a mouth. Damn, he looks like he's 100 years old now. His hair was adjusted to be longer and pointy, and he got some teeth with some sharp canines. His clothing was adjusted as well to make it seem like it's ripped, because you know in movies whenever there's a transformation, the person's clothing always rips. Alright, he's looking decent but still has no arms or legs. So to solve this problem, we can give him some chunky muscular arms and legs. Yeah, you don't want to know what this guy's bench is. And with Mixamo, we're able to get the animations. I wanted to add the ability to hide since it's a common feature in a lot of horror games. And luckily there are places in the school that can be used for this, specifically desks and the lockers. And so you know definitely that worked like a charm for the first time. Yeah, what's happening? Alright, so it's fixed now and the player can hide in the locker. Okay, so you're probably wondering what exactly happens at the end of the game. So after the player uses the slide and the whole map transforms, the teacher starts looking for you and you have to make it back to the school to get the final instruction from this book. The book essentially tells you to go back outside and use the monkey bars at the playground because yeah, that's your top priority right now to finish the enjoyment the principal wanted you to have while the teacher is trying to kill you. For the teacher AI, to make it easier for the player, the teacher was made a bit blind in finding the student. But yeah, I think I made him a bit too blind. So that was fixed and his jump scare was made. Without sound, it seems so awkward. So of course a loud sound was added, as well as sounds throughout the whole game. So finally, you use the monkey bars and the escape opens up. Subscribe because I have some special stuff coming up next.